What? Why are you inheriting my father's assets?
Well, that's what is written in your father's will.
My husband is to inherit my father's assets.
Let's get a divorce.
My husband, Luke, chose to leave me and remarry my elder sister, Carla. I was in complete despair and had fallen into the bottomless pit. Then, a month after I was kicked out of the house, I suddenly received a phone call from my ex-husband.
Hey, what the hell is going on? You deceived us, didn't you?
My name is Phoebe. I'm a 32-year-old office worker. I currently work for my father's company. Until now, I have been working for 10 years at the company I started working for after graduating from college, but my father asked me to work for his company on the premise that I would be his successor as the next CEO of the company. Now the best people in the office are teaching me all kinds of work. Phoebe, you really are a quick learner. Regardless of the fact that you are the CEO's daughter, you are very talented and skilled. Thank you very much. It's all thanks to the way you all teach me how to work here. Everyone who worked in my father's company was very good at their jobs and very kind. I think this is because of my father, the CEO of the company, is a very virtuous person himself. I am working hard every day, hoping to be like my father someday.
Good job on your work today. Were you busy?
Yes, it was difficult because I had to learn a lot of things. When I came home, my boyfriend Luke greeted me.
Today I made your favorite Salisbury steak.
Oh, yay! He comes home earlier than I do and always cooks dinner for me. He is a very important person who supports me when I am busy with my work. We met at my previous company where I used to work at, where he was my subordinate at the time.
I love you, Phoebe. Please, don't see me just as your subordinate, but also please see me as a man.
I was surprised to hear him say that to me, but from that day on I became aware of him as a man. Once I was attracted to him, I became more and more interested in him, and we went on several dates and ended up dating. Now it has been about 2 years since we started dating, but we started living together a while ago, and we are both very happy being together every day. He is a very good cook, and I am energized by his delicious meals every day. He supports me in this way, and now I feel like I can't really live without him. One day, he had prepared lots of side dishes for dinner. Huh? What's wrong, honey? There are lots of side dishes here. Was it special day today? Like, is it our anniversary or something? I wondered if I had been too focused on my work that I had forgotten something so important. If that was the case, I felt really guilty. But it seems that wasn't the case.
I wanted to talk to you about something very important today, so I prepared these dishes for us.
Something important?
Phoebe, please marry me. I want to continue to support Phoebe with all my heart.
What? I was surprised by Luke's sudden proposal, but I was extremely happy. Thank you, Luke. I also want to marry you.
Really?
Yes. I'm looking forward to being with you more from now on.
Yay!
Luke looked very happy. Then we enjoyed the delicious meals Luke made and drinks prepared by him. Then, to move things forward, he and I greeted each other's parents. My parents liked him very much because he was sincere and kind. Luke is really handsome and good-looking. My sister Carla also said so about Luke and liked him. Well, how should I put it? It sounded like Carla liked him in a different way, though. Then we proceeded with our wedding preparations. We invited many people from each of our workplaces and friends and had a big wedding. We were so happy to be blessed by so many people. Even though we were living together, our newlywed life felt fresh and happy for the two of us. My husband took the lead in housework after our marriage, and I was able to devote myself to my work.
Phoebe, you seem to be working even harder these days. I'm getting reports like that from your managers.
Really? I'm sure it's because Luke is taking the initiative to take care of things at home. He's helping me out a lot, you know.
Oh, well, you must be very grateful to him. He seems like a nice guy.
He doesn't seem nice. He's really a nice, good person.
Oh, right. Sorry.
My father also complimented my husband, which made me happy. 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. During that time, many things happened. First, I was promoted as the section chief. Then my mother was diagnosed with cancer last year and recently passed away. She took very good care of Carla and I. I was very sad when she had passed away. My mother's death was also very painful for my father. Although my father puts on a brave face at work, he sometimes appeared very sad and depressed when he was with his family. My husband was worried about my father, so one day he made me a proposal.
If you'd like, why don't we move in with your father at your parents' house?
What?
If we do that, you'd feel better too, right?
Luke, thank you. I immediately proposed to my father the idea that we live together.
Phoebe, Luke, are you sure about this? Sir, we both care about you. In times like this, let's support each other as a family.
Luke, I was very happy that my husband cared about my father like this. And my father was also happy to hear that. So, Luke and I moved into my parents' home and started living with my father. My husband took the initiative in doing the housework at my parents' house and served delicious meals to my father and I.
Oh, this dish is really delicious. Thank you. It goes really well with red wine. Oh, that's true. I won't be able to stop drinking now.
Father, you're drinking too much.
Well, you've been drinking a lot too, Phoebe.
That's for sure.
Well, tomorrow is the day off, so let's drink without having to worry about anything.
My father also liked my husband's cooking, and we enjoyed our meals together every day. My father gradually regained his energy, and even outside of the office, he began to smile more and more. He began to work hard as the CEO of the company, and I was able to devote myself to my work with peace of mind. About a year later, however, my father suddenly got sick. My husband and I rushed to the hospital. Father, are you all right?
Oh, I'm sorry, both of you, for making you all worry. No, but I'm glad you're okay. The doctors told me it would have been dangerous if you were taken to the hospital too late. Is that so? I may have pushed myself a little too hard. I've been working so hard for all these years after all. My father had really worked really hard without hardly taking any breaks since he started his company. Therefore, he must have pushed himself very hard when he was much younger. My father's condition was critical, and it seems like he needs to be hospitalized. The people at the company were quite upset about the situation of their CEO being hospitalized. I made every effort to support the company in my father's place. My husband went to visit my father even when I was too busy with work to go. However, my father's condition was getting worse and worse, and my husband and I decided that we had to prepare mentally for what was coming. About a month later, my father peacefully passed away. I was very saddened by his death. My husband hugged me as I broke down in tears and said, "Let's see your father off properly." I nodded my head in agreement, and together with my husband, we prepared and made arrangements for the funeral. Many people attended my father's funeral.
which showed how much he was loved by so many people. We saw my father off, and the funeral was held without any issues. A few days later, a lawyer and my sister came to my parents' house to discuss about the inheritance.
Well then, I will open the will.
The lawyer opened the will and read out the contents.
It says that Luke will inherit all of your father's estate, Carla will inherit the remainder, and Phoebe will not inherit anything.
Huh? What do you mean? I could not believe my ears. Why would I not inherit my father's assets? Why are you inheriting everything, Luke? I did not understand this point either. But my husband didn't seem to question it at all.
Well, that's what is written in your father's will.
He said it as if it was a normal thing.
Father-in-law wrote in his will that you will not inherit anything, so you have to give up your rights to inherit.
What? No way. Well, it can't be helped, Phoebe. Even I only get the remaining portion of the estate too. Carla would say that, but I was also concerned about my sister's lack of rebellion against this will. She didn't get along with my father very well. She was the type of person who only wanted what was good for herself and had no appreciation for her parents. So, when Carla was a child, she did whatever she wanted and got my parents into a lot of trouble. My father and mother had a hard time with her, but after she graduated from a vocational school, my sister moved from one man's house to another and never got a regular job. She'd tend to go back to our parents' house whenever she needed some money. When she reported that my husband and I were getting married, she must have come to see us out of curiosity. It was still understandable that my sister, who had been troubling my parents in this way, would only receive the remainder of the estate. But it was really strange that my sister did not go against the will. It was impossible that my sister, who often came to collect money, would not be angry at the fact that her share of the inheritance was so small. However, I could not find out the reason, so I had no choice but to proceed according to the will. My husband was to inherit my father's estate. According to the will, Luke was to inherit $3 million in cash, and my husband was to inherit almost all of it. And I had to go through the process of giving up my rights to inherit. Well, I guess my father had his own ideas. But right after I had given up my rights to inherit, my husband's attitude suddenly changed, and he suddenly said something unbelievable.
Let's get a divorce.
Excuse me? What do you mean?
There is someone else I want to be with.
What? Does that mean you were having an affair?
That's what people might say. Well, from my point of view, I should say it was a fateful encounter.
You're horrible. You betrayed me.
Well, come on now. Don't be so angry. I'm inviting my mistress over today, too.
Huh? I wondered what the hell Luke was trying to do. Then the front door opened and my sister Carla came into the living room. Hi, Phoebe. Carla? Could it be that your mistress is my sister, Carla? I'm sorry. I stole your precious husband away from you. But he chose me too. So it can't be helped, you see.
Yeah, you're right. I like Carla more than Phoebe.
You're so handsome, Luke. My husband and my sister was flirting right in front of me like that. So my husband chose to leave me and remarry my sister.
Here are the divorce papers. Just sign it and get out. I inherited this house from my father-in-law anyways. I went to visit him every day at the hospital, and when we talked, I guess he fell in love with me even more. He allowed me to inherit all of his assets, you know. But well, he didn't know that Carla and I were dating behind his back, did he?"
My husband smirks nastily as he says that. He really is the worst. I packed my bags and left the house, feeling hopeless and helpless, with grief, sadness, anger, and with every emotion except for happiness. I was in complete despair and had fallen into the bottomless pit. At any rate, I stayed at a business hotel, and after crying all night, I went to a real estate agency. And I immediately rented a room in an apartment for a single person. Then I worked while my wounds were still healing. Even if my husband and my sister betrayed me, I had to make sure the company was in good hands. Then about a month after I was kicked out of the house, I suddenly received a phone call from my ex-husband.
Hey, what the hell is going on? You deceived us, didn't you?"
"Huh? What on earth are you talking about?"
"It's about your father's debt. Why didn't you tell us anything about it?"
"Huh? Debt?" I couldn't believe my ears. I had never heard of my father being in debt. But according to my husband and sister, who inherited the estate, my father had $4 million in debt.
"It seems he was a joint guarantor for some of his friends' debt. And now that your father is gone, all the bill is coming to us, the heirs."
I was completely speechless and surprised. And I wondered if this might have been my father's plan after all. Then the voice on the phone changed to my sister. "You knew everything about this, didn't you? That's why you agreed to the divorce, didn't you?" "No, I didn't. I was just in shock and wanted to get out of that house as soon as possible, so that's why. I didn't know our father was in that much debt." "How could this happen? Even if we sell this house, we will still be left with another $500,000 in debt." That's how my sister and my ex-husband would scream to me. But this was a great opportunity for me. But I already gave up my rights to inherit, so you both have no choice but to take the inheritance, and you guys are the ones who have to pay back the debt, you know. Also, aren't you forgetting about this? The alimony for me? Wait a minute. Are you trying to charge alimony to us who are suffering already? Carla, you and Luke just put yourselves in a situation where you had to suffer, didn't you? I was intentionally put in a situation where you two inflicted emotional pain to me. It's only natural that you should pay for that, isn't it? I'm going to charge you and Luke $30,000 each. Go ahead and taste the despair of suffering in all these debts. I heard the pathetic screams of my ex-husband and my sister. I hung up the phone and immediately filed a claim for alimony to the two of them through my lawyer. The lawyer I requested at that time was the one who read the will at my father's funeral. He handed me a letter left by my father saying,
"Actually, I have a letter from your father."
When I read the contents, I was astonished. To my surprise, my father knew about the affair between my ex-husband and my sister. When he was in the hospital, his two secretaries saw them being together. So my father thought of this revenge to punish my ex-husband and sister for betraying me. He also wrote that he would give up his position as CEO to me, and that he had already informed the executives of the company about it.
"Phoebe, please take good care of my company and the employees."
I was determined to protect my father's company. Soon after that, my sister and my ex-husband suddenly stormed into the company.
"I am my father-in-law's son. That's why I'm going to be the CEO of the company."
Yes, normally the husband of the eldest daughter should be appointed as the CEO, right? The two of them insisted so, and to that the vice president began to talk to them.
"It has been decided that the position of CEO will be given to Mrs. Phoebe, As the outsiders, we will ask you two to pay for damages for interfering with our business.
Damages for interfering with your business? The two of them flinched at the calm remark of the vice president and the word damages.
We could go ahead and call the police and report you guys as being suspicious, you know. In any case, you guys are going to suffer a considerable amount of pain.
Hearing that, the two quickly fled out of the company. I guess they didn't want to be even more in debt. Since then, my ex-husband and sister have not shown their faces at all. Well, I guess they are too busy paying off their debts. Then I officially became the CEO of the company, and now I am working very hard as a manager with the support of many people. Many of my business partners continues their contract with our company because they see me working so hard. I am grateful for the kindness of those around me, and I will do my best to become a CEO who is adored and admired, like my father. Luke, who seemed kind at first glance, was blinded by money and women in the end, after all. However, Phoebe's father handled the situation calmly, and I thought he was indeed a great CEO. In the end, I got to see Carla and Luke suffer, and I thought that they both deserved what they got. I hope Phoebe will do her best as a business owner from now on, but she is still young, so I hope she takes her time to find a new partner as well. I hope Phoebe's life will be happy from now on. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.